The first night I worked as a security guard, I saw someone standing inside the building. But the building was supposed to be empty. My name is Daniel Carter. 3 years ago, I got a night job as a security guard at an old office complex in Cleveland, Ohio. The building was called Ravenwood Plaza. It was a tall gray building near East 79th Street. During the day, it was busy, but at night it was silent. Too silent. My shift started at 11 p.m. and ended at 7 a.m. The manager, Mr. Blake, gave me simple instructions. Just walk around the building every hour, he said. Check the cameras. Lock the doors. Nothing else. I asked him one question. Does anyone stay here at night? He paused for a moment. Then he smiled. No, he said, but his smile looked forced. That was the first strange thing I noticed. At 11:40 p.m., I started my first patrol. The hallway lights were dim. The air smelled old like dust and wet concrete. My footsteps echoed through the empty corridor. Step, step, step. Every sound felt louder in that building. I passed the accounting office, then the meeting rooms. Everything looked normal, until I reached the end of the hallway. That was when I saw it. Someone was standing near the glass door at the end. A tall figure, completely still. My heart froze. Hello, I called out. No answer. The figure did not move. I slowly walked closer step by step. My flashlight was shaking in my hand. When I reached the door, the hallway was empty. No one was there. I checked the stairwell. Nothing. I checked the door lock. Still locked from inside. No way someone could leave. A cold feeling ran through my body that I returned to the security office and checked the cameras. Camera 3 showed the hallway I just walked through. I rewound the footage. 11:41 p.m. The hallway appeared on the screen. And then I saw something that made my blood run cold. The camera showed me walking down the hallway. But behind me someone else was walking too. A tall black figure right behind me following every step. But I never saw that person, not once. My hands started shaking. I replayed the footage again. The figure had no face. Just darkness standing there watching me. At 12:17 a.m., the power flickered. The lights went out for 2 seconds. Then they came back. But something changed. One camera stopped working. Camera 7. The camera that watched the basement hallway. I tried restarting it. Nothing happened. Then the radio on my desk suddenly turned on by itself. Static filled the room. And a voice whispered through the speaker, very slowly, very quietly. Security. My heart stopped. The voice whispered again, you shouldn't be here. At that moment, someone knocked on the security office door. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. But when I opened the door, the hallway was empty. Completely empty. That was when I noticed something on the floor. A small piece of paper. I picked it up. There were only 3 words written on it, check the basement. And that was the moment I made the worst decision of my life. I grabbed my flashlight and started walking toward the basement stairs. Because I still believed someone was inside the building. But I had no idea what was waiting for me down there. The basement stairs were old. Each step made a loud creaking sound. Creak, creak, creak. My flashlight shook in my hand as I walked down. The air became colder with every step. And the smell changed. It smelled like rust. Like wet metal. Like something old and rotten. When I reached the bottom of the stairs, I saw a long hallway. The lights down there were very weak. Half of them were flickering. The hallway looked endless. On the left side were old storage rooms. On the right side were pipes running across the wall. Water slowly dripped from them. Drip, drip, drip. I took a deep breath and started walking. Step, step, step. Then I heard something behind me. Footsteps. Soft. Slow. Following me. My heart started beating faster. I quickly turned around. Nothing was there. The stairs were empty. The door at the top was closed. I told myself it was just my imagination. But the feeling did not leave. It felt like someone was walking right behind me, watching every step. After a few minutes, I reached the end of the hallway. That was where camera 7 was supposed to be. But the camera was broken. The screen was completely dark. The wires looked old and damaged. But something strange caught my eye. Under the camera, there were scratches on the wall. Deep scratches. Like someone tried to climb the wall. Or tried to escape. My stomach tightened. Then my radio suddenly made a loud static noise. SSSHHHHHHH. I grabbed it quickly. Hello, I said. No answer. Only static. Then the same whisper came again. The same voice from before. Very close. Very cold. Security. My hands froze. You came down. The voice sounded happy. Like it was waiting for me. Who is this? I asked loudly. The radio went silent. For a few seconds, nothing happened. Then suddenly, all the basement lights went out. Everything turned completely black that I could only see the small circle of light from my flashlight. The darkness around me felt alive. Then I heard something moving in the hallway. Not footsteps. Something else. Something dragging on the floor. Scray ape, scray ape. The sound was getting closer. My breathing became fast. Hello, I said again. No answer. But the sound kept coming closer. Scray ape, scray ape. Then my flashlight flickered. For 1 second I saw something at the end of the hallway. A tall shape, standing near the pipes. Its body looked twisted. Its head was tilted to one side, and its arms were too long. Way too long. The light flickered again, and the figure disappeared. My chest felt tight. I slowly walked forward. My legs felt weak. Then my flashlight suddenly pointed at the floor, and I saw something that made my blood freeze. There were footprints on the concrete floor. Wet footprints. Dark. Fresh. But they were not human footprints. They were long. Thin. And the toes looked wrong. Like something crawled out of the dark. I followed the footprints with my light. They led to one door. A heavy metal door. At the end of the hallway. There was a sign above it, maintenance room. The door was slightly open, and something inside the room was breathing. Slow. Deep. Like a huge animal. I slowly pushed the door open. The flashlight beam moved inside. And that was when I saw the wall, covered with hundreds of words, written over and over again. The same sentence, written with something dark. He is watching the guard. My heart dropped, because suddenly the breathing behind me stopped, and a cold voice whispered right next to my ear. You finally came down. The whisper was right behind my ear. You finally came down. My whole body froze. I slowly turned around. The hallway behind me was empty. No one was there. But the air felt different now. Heavier. Like something invisible was standing close to me, watching me breathe. I stepped back slowly. My flashlight beam shook across the hallway walls. The scratches. The pipes. The dark footprints. Everything was still there. But something new appeared on the floor. Fresh footprints. Right behind me. Long, thin. Not human. My chest tightened. Those footprints were not there before. Which meant only one thing. Something had been standing behind me. Only seconds ago. I slowly pointed the flashlight down the hallway. Nothing. Just darkness. Then my radio suddenly turned on again. Static filled the basement. I grabbed it quickly. Who is this? I said. For a moment there was silence. Then the voice spoke again. But this time it sounded different. Closer. More clear. You shouldn't stay here. My heart pounded. What are you talking about? I asked. The voice answered slowly. Guards don't stay long. A cold chill ran through my body. What happened to the other guards? The radio went quiet. 5 seconds passed. Then the voice whispered something that made my hands shake. They all saw him. Before I could ask another question, something slammed against the metal door behind me. Bang. The sound exploded through the basement. I jumped back. The maintenance room door slowly creaked open wider. Creak. My flashlight moved inside again. The wall with the words was still there. He is watching the guard. Written hundreds of times. But now I noticed something worse. Under the writing there were handprints. Dark handprints. Like someone had pressed their hands against the wall while writing. But the hands looked wrong. The fingers were too long. And the marks went all the way up the wall. Almost to the ceiling. Like something tall had been standing there. Watching. My breathing became faster. Then I heard a new sound from the hallway. Soft footsteps. Step, step, step. Slow. Heavy. Coming closer. I slowly stepped out of the maintenance room. My flashlight pointed down the hallway. The sound stopped. The hallway was empty again. But then my flashlight flickered for 1 second. And in that single moment, I saw someone standing at the far end of the corridor. A tall figure. Completely black. Its head was bent sideways. Just like before. My heart almost stopped. The light flickered again. The figure moved closer. But I never saw it walk. It was just suddenly closer. 10 feet away now. My hands trembled. Who are you? I shouted. The figure did not answer. The hallway lights suddenly started flickering. On off, on off. Each time the lights went dark, the figure was closer. 7 feet away. 4 feet away. 2 feet away. My breathing turned into panic. Then the lights went out completely. Everything became black. For 3 seconds there was only silence. Then something cold touched my shoulder. Right behind me. A voice whispered slowly. You are the next guard. The lights suddenly came back on. I spun around. No one was there. But something was lying on the floor. Right where I was standing. It was an old security badge. Dirty. Covered in dust. I picked it up slowly. My stomach twisted when I read the name. Michael Turner. Under the name were 3 small words. Security guard, Ravenwood Plaza. Then I saw the date under the badge. It was from 1998, 30 years ago. My heart started racing again, because at that exact moment the elevator at the end of the basement hallway suddenly opened by itself. Ding! The doors slid open slowly, and inside the elevator someone was standing there, wearing an old security uniform, head hanging down, face hidden in the dark, not moving, just standing there, waiting. And then the elevator light flickered, and the guard slowly lifted his head, but his face was completely black, like a shadow, and he started walking toward me. The shadow guard stepped out of the elevator. Slowly, very slowly. His shoes scraped against the concrete floor. Scrape, scrape. My heart was beating so hard I could hear it in my ears. The flashlight in my hand trembled as the figure walked toward me. He was wearing an old security uniform, the same type I was wearing, but it looked different. Old, dirty, like it had been buried for years. The name badge on his chest was broken, but I could still read the name Michael Turner, the same name on the badge I was holding. My throat went dry. You were the guard before me? I whispered. Only darkness. A deep black shadow where his face should be. Then he spoke. His voice sounded like 2 voices at the same time. One normal, one whispering. You should have left. My legs felt weak. What happened here? I asked. The shadow guard took one more step closer. The temperature in the basement dropped. Cold air surrounded me. He is still here, the guard said slowly. My stomach tightened. Who? I asked. The guard raised his arm and pointed toward the dark end of the hallway. The one watching. A cold wave ran through my body. Before I could ask anything else, the basement lights suddenly went out again. Darkness swallowed the hallway. For 2 seconds there was nothing. Only silence. Then something screamed from the darkness. A horrible sound. Not human. Not animal. A scream filled with rage. My flashlight turned back on. The hallway was empty. The shadow guard was gone. The elevator doors were closed again. My breathing was heavy now. What the hell is happening here? I whispered. Then the radio on my belt turned on again. Static filled the basement. And the voice spoke again. But this time it sounded urgent. Leave the basement. My heart jumped. Why? I asked. The voice answered quickly. Because he knows you are there. A cold fear crawled into my chest. Who is he? I asked again. But the radio went silent. No answer. At that moment I heard something above me. Heavy footsteps. Coming from the first floor. Boom, boom, boom. Like something large was walking across the building. But there should be no one upstairs. The building was locked. The sound continued. Slow. Heavy. Boom, boom, boom. My hands started shaking again. Then something worse happened. The elevator at the end of the hallway opened again. Ding. But this time the elevator was empty. And inside the metal walls of the elevator someone had scratched a message. Deep scratches. Fresh. I slowly walked closer. My flashlight moved across the metal wall. The words were carved again and again. Hundreds of times. The same sentence, the guard always comes back. My chest tightened. Then I heard breathing behind me again. Slow. Deep. Right behind my neck. I slowly turned around. And what I saw made my mind freeze. Standing only 3 feet away from me was the shadow guard again, Michael Turner. But this time his dark face was slowly changing. The shadow was moving. Like something inside it was alive. Then the darkness pulled apart for a moment. And inside the shadow face I saw another face. Watching me. Smiling. Not Michael Turner. Someone else. Something else. And the shadow guard whispered one last sentence. He chose you. If you are still listening to this story, don't stop now. Because what happened next is the reason I will never work as a security guard again. And what I saw on the security cameras later was far worse than anything in that basement. The shadow guard stood in front of me, only 3 feet away. His body was still, but his face, that dark moving shadow inside his face, was slowly twisting, like something was trying to push through it. My hands were shaking. What do you mean he chose me? I asked. The shadow guard did not answer. For a moment, he only stared at me. Then suddenly his body started shaking. Violently. His head snapped to one side. Crack. The sound echoed through the hallway. My stomach twisted. Then he spoke again. But the voice was no longer Michael Turner's. It sounded deeper. Colder. Older. The building needs a guard. My heart pounded. What are you talking about? I said. The shadow inside his face started spreading. It moved like black smoke, covering his entire head. Then his body slowly stepped backward toward the elevator. You will understand soon, the voice whispered. The elevator doors opened again. Ding. The shadow guard stepped inside. And before the doors closed, he said one last thing. Just like the others. The doors shut, and the elevator moved up, leaving me alone in the basement again. For a few seconds, I stood there frozen. My mind was racing. Others? How many guards had worked here before me? And what happened to them? Then suddenly the lights in the basement flickered again. On off on off. And when they turned on again, something new appeared on the floor. More footprints. Dozens of them. Wet. Dark. But none of them looked human. They covered the entire hallway now, leading in every direction. My breathing became fast. Then I heard the elevator upstairs open. Ding. The sound echoed through the stairwell. Something heavy stepped out. Boom, boom, boom. The same heavy footsteps from before. But now they were moving toward the stairs. Toward the basement. Toward me. Fear exploded inside my chest. I ran toward the basement stairs, my flashlight shaking wildly. The footsteps upstairs became faster. Boom, boom, boom. Then something slammed against the basement door above me. Bang. The metal door shook. I froze halfway up the stairs. Something was standing on the other side. Breathing. Deep. Slow. Then the door handle started turning. Slowly. Creak. I stepped back down. My legs felt weak. The door opened slightly, and darkness poured through the crack. A tall shadow appeared in the doorway, taller than any human. Its head almost touched the ceiling. I could not see its face. Only two faint shapes inside the darkness. Like empty eyes. The thing slowly stepped into the stairwell. Its body looked wrong. Too long. Too thin. Its arms almost touched the floor. My heart felt like it would explode. The creature tilted its head, just like the shadow guard did before. Then it spoke. But the voice was not loud. It was soft. Almost calm. You saw the others. My mouth went dry. What are you? I whispered. The creature did not answer. Instead, it slowly pointed one long finger toward the hallway behind me, toward the basement corridor. I slowly turned my flashlight there, and what I saw made my legs almost collapse. The hallway was full of people, standing silently in the darkness. Security guards, dozens of them, all wearing old uniforms. Some from different years, different decades, all standing still, all watching me. And every single one of them had the same face, a dark shadow where their face should be. Then the tall creature whispered again. They all tried to leave. My chest tightened. And now, the creature continued slowly. It is your turn. The hallway was full of guards, dozens of them, all standing in silence. Their bodies did not move, but I could feel them watching me. Every single one had the same face, a dark shadow where their face should be. My breathing became fast. My mind was screaming one thing. Run. I slowly stepped backward toward the stairs. The tall creature was still standing there, blocking the way out. Its long arms hung near the floor. Its head tilted slowly as it watched me. You cannot leave, it said calmly. My chest tightened. Why? I asked. The creature took one slow step closer. The building needs a guard. My hands shook. This is insane, I whispered. I quit. For a moment the creature said nothing. Then it spoke again. You already accepted. A cold feeling spread through my body. What do you mean? I asked. The creature pointed toward the security badge in my hand. The old badge of Michael Turner. Every guard accepts the job, it said, and the building accepts them. A horrible thought entered my mind. What happened to them? I asked quietly. The creature slowly turned its head toward the hallway, toward the silent guards. They tried to escape. My throat felt tight. And you didn't let them? I asked. The creature answered with one cold sentence. No guard leaves Ravenwood Plaza. Suddenly the lights in the basement flickered again. On off. The guards in the hallway began moving. Slowly. One step forward. Then another. Dozens of shadow guards walking toward me. Their footsteps echoed together. Step, step, step. My heart started racing. I turned and ran down the hallway, my flashlight bouncing wildly. The guards followed, but they did not run. They walked slowly, like they knew I could not escape. I reached the elevator and slammed the button. The doors opened. Ding. I jumped inside and pressed the lobby button. The doors closed quickly. For a moment I felt hope. The elevator started moving up. Floor 1, Floor 2, Floor 3. My breathing slowly calmed. I'm getting out, I whispered. The elevator reached the lobby. Ding. The doors opened. I ran out immediately. The main entrance doors were right in front of me. Freedom. I ran across the lobby. My hand grabbed the door handle. But the door did not open. It was locked. From the outside. My heart dropped. Then the lights in the lobby turned off. Complete darkness. For 3 seconds, nothing moved. Then the lights turned back on, and I saw something that made my blood freeze. Standing in the lobby were more guards. Old uniforms. Different decades. All standing silently. Watching me. My chest felt tight. I slowly backed away. And that was when I noticed something else. The security desk. There was a paper sitting on it. A printed schedule. The security shift schedule. My hands shook as I picked it up. There was a long list of names. Guards from many years. Some from the 90s. Some from the 2000s. Some more recent. But every single name had a red line through it. Except one. The last name on the list. My name. Daniel Carter. Under it were the shift hours. 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Every night. Forever. My heart stopped. Then I heard the tall creature's voice again from behind me. You understand now. I slowly turned around. The creature stood in the lobby doorway, its shadow stretching across the floor. The building always needs a guard. The shadow guards slowly surrounded me, their dark faces staring at me. Then the creature spoke one final sentence. And now, the building is watching you. The lights in Ravenwood Plaza went out again. And that night, a new security guard was added to the list. The next morning, when the new guard arrived for his first shift, he checked the cameras. Everything looked normal, except one camera. Camera 3, the hallway camera. On the screen, a security guard was standing there, not moving, just watching the camera. His face completely black, like a shadow, but the uniform badge was still visible. The name on it read, Daniel Carter. If this story gave you chills, leave a like, and tell me in the comments which country you're watching from. And if you dare to hear more terrifying stories like this, subscribe, because the next one might be even darker.